In The Talent Code by Daniel Coyle, he says, the fact is Michael Jordan and Michelangelo weren't born great, they created their greatness. I think that's one of the key principles that we want to take away from today is that baby steps are the royal road to skill. So often I think we make the mistake to think that success comes from some massive transformation or some massive decision that they make, when in reality, it is a slow burn. It's a bunch of small steps they take on a consistent basis. Those baby steps over years, over time, are what get you to where you want to be. You see, it's not magic, it's simply hard work. And Coyle in the book talks about that we're never a finished product. We're always under construction. I had the privilege to work with the UFC Hall of Famer, the 2-division champion, the great George Rush St. Pierre. And if I had to describe George, I would say that he was a guy who was never satisfied. He was always looking to get better. You see, he was obsessed with learning. And when people say, how would you describe George? I would say it was an obsession. It wasn't an obsession with necessarily being the best in the world, because he knew that that was an outcome he couldn't control. That was up for other people to decide. He had to go out and prove it in the octagon every time he stepped in there. And that came down to being obsessed with growth, obsessed with learning, obsessed with being passionate about his craft. Where a lot of mixed martial arts fighters will train really hard in a fight camp and then allow themselves to eat more than they normally would and not train as much, George was always in the gym. I think there were days where when he wasn't in a fight camp, he probably was still in some of the best shape of any fighter in the world who was going through a fight camp. It comes down to deep practice. It comes down to what you do on a daily basis. It comes down to the work that you put in. It comes down to the baby steps, because remember that the royal road to skill is paved in baby steps. And it's not magic, it's hard work.